Hi, I'm Christopher
Hi,
Sapp.
everybody. This is Bob
Hey guys,
Bergen.
this is Stephanie Shea.
Hey, I'm Veronica Taylor.
Hey, everybody. This is Billy
Hey
West.
guys, I'm Ryan Colt Levy.
Hi, this is Kyle
Hi,
Aber.
this is Kira Buckley.
Hi, I'm Jameson Price.
Hi, I'm Sean Chiplock.
You are listening to Two Dads.
You're listening to
Two Dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
And a podcast.
A couple of dads on a podcast.
Yes, I feel powerful.
Welcome.
I looked like I was trying to strangle an angel just out of frame.
I thought that's what you were doing. I thought that
Okay.
was the way
Okay.
we were supposed to do the intro today, but
I'm
you know,
having lighting
get it.
issues, as people could probably see and tell.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing for viewers, but
So, but this
I
week
look a lot
we're-
better in the dark.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. This week
I'll tell you
we're actually doing what we said we were going to for
Yes.
the last
And
episode. I think this is a
I
first.
quite love this topic.
It's fun.
I
It's a
think
fun
it's the problem with live action anime movies is
Which,
people
by
don't
the- by
talk
the way,
enough
that's
before
what
they
we're doing.
decide to do it.
That's what
Yeah.
we're doing. Where
People-
what anime should be live action.
If people had more conversations about what they should and shouldn't do, we might not have so many bad live action anime movies.
And if, you had people who are actually passionate about the show, that might help too. And it's
Yeah,
not
that's
just a
big
cash grab.
And there's different things that can be said about that, but we'll go ahead and we'll go with the list.
I think it's your turn to start, or is it my turn to
Is
start?
it? Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. You
You
go.
must have gone 2 weeks in a row, maybe. I don't know.
feel like I know I was just editing one of them and I went first, and I can't remember what we did last week.
And
so
then there should be a week in between that and then this week.
yeah.
So 'cause we're
I
a
don't
bit ahead. So my number 5, I think, should be obvious. So do you remember the movie Wanted?
Okay.
The famous
the curved
movie.
bullets.
Yes.
Yes.
That nobody wanted. Nobody. It's star-studded though. A nice young James McAvoy and
Oh yeah,
you
great
got
cast. Great
Angelina
cast.
Jolie and Morgan Freeman. So now I'm going to throw out a title to you. Trigun.
Oh snap.
Wanted as a movie where you're curving bullets, but they're taking it way too seriously, was a horrible concept and horrible idea. But Trigun, where he actually does some like superhuman feats and you could slow it down and sort of show trajectories and stuff in that fashion, I think Trigun is a show that would benefit from a long movie. And here's the thing about Trigun, they've already done a movie outside of the show.
Yes. Yes,
So
they
they've
have.
revisited it, and
they're
it's
doing
possible.
another thing with it soon, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing a remake.
Yeah, I didn't hear a lot of good hype around it, but I did hear a thing was happening. So
The anime is interesting. So anyways, yeah. Well, so the live action Trigun though makes a lot of sense because it
does.
can be heavy action. And it is hard to fuck up an all action movie.
an all action Western theme, sure.
Right. Space Western is an amazing concept. People love it already. And there is a lot of story that can be told. And I think this is one that you could tell the story of the actual anime and it'd be great. And you could also tell a completely different story that had nothing to do with the anime. And
Absolutely.
it'd still be great. As has been proven.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a great candidate. Casting would be key because you
Yes.
gotta have that goofy, charismatic.
You got to have
Vash.
the right Vash, 100%.
So there it is. That's why I think it's a perfect movie to get translated.
You just get Johnny Young Bosch and put him in a wig. Perfect.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, I'm down for it. I'd watch it.
He's got on-screen chops. He's got good on-screen chops. We've
That's
seen
right.
Power Rangers.
That's right. So, my number 5, my list, as a heads up, is very different than probably what you would expect from a normal anime list from either one of us. It's very different because I went into this with the idea of, okay, would this make a good movie, and could a good movie be made of it? So,
Yes.
and I'll kind of explain going into my number 5, which is Fruits Basket.
Nice. See, that one was on the outside looking in.
I love this show, especially, you know, the remake that they did in 2019 through 2021. Amazing. They did a fantastic job with that. And I truly feel this style, this slice of life style with not a whole lot of action, not a whole lot of CG or special effects needed, would translate extremely well into a live action movie or TV show.
Precisely. And it would have to be, because there are a lot of slice of life anime that are very good anime, but I don't think would translate well into a movie.
Correct. And I think this one, do a movie per season. You know, that way you get the entirety of there, because there's some really good stuff going on. But it's one of those, you don't have to be super precise with the characters' looks. You don't have to be super precise with all of the exact animations the way they translate, because there's a lot of anime that are amazing. Yeah. But it wouldn't translate into live action. It just
you could
would
almost
not.
do a Fruits Basket movie where you're doing it in sort of a tip of the cap to it, but not following exactly what was done.
100%.
Because what you can't do is you can't take Japanese slice of life animated shows and translate it to an American movie very easily. You have to be able to be flexible with the characters and be flexible with the plot.
You've got to have regional things to make more sense.
Yeah, and there are certain cadences that are really quirky and charming that I love about anime, but it's not going to make a successful movie doing those sort of things. It's not going to translate as well into a movie. But I do love the story behind Fruit Baskets, and I think it's a fantastic.
It is a beautiful, emotional show, and like I said, I feel like it would translate well into live action. Whereas some that are way over the top, it'd be so much harder to actually translate well. And there's my reason. That's the whole reason Fruits Basket's on my list.
Yep. Well, for number 4, I've got Eden of the East.
Ooh. That's one on my list that I still haven't watched yet, but I absolutely love the art for it.
It's really good. It is a very good. It's seriously good, and I'm glad they finished it off, because it didn't get continued as a series. They finished it off as movies, and I'm glad they did finish it up right. This is a movie. You've got conspiracy, you've got government agencies, you've got international mysteries.
All fantastic things that translate well to movies.
Yes, it is just so compelling and interesting. I think it would be fantastic to see on the big screen. And I think the characters are quirky enough to really, really be interesting.
I agree.
There's a lot
based on the art that I've seen.
Yeah. Well, like you start with one of the first scenes, the guy is completely naked in front of the White House.
Sign me up.
And he has no idea what's happened to him yet, you know? So that's kind of where it jumps you off. So it's this really big, it's not quite, they're not sleeper agents. It's not really like a Bourne Identity thing, but it kind of is along that vein of sort of these characters and how they're sort of agents to this cell agency, and it's very interesting. It is very good, and there's enough in this in the show that you could trim off the fat and still keep a really core cohesive storyline.
Sure, I definitely need to watch it, and you're making some very compelling arguments as to why I need to do that sooner than later. So I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my number 4 is nothing new because it's Trigun.
Oh, sweet.
I feel like everything you said and more.
There's
like
a lot.
It would translate so well. It's not over the top. There are some, crazy looking people. There's some action sequences that you would definitely need some, CG or something like that for. But it's not over the top. It's not too much. it would translate well to a movie form. Your main
It's
character,
sort of
you're
perfect.
funny, you've got the comedy, you've got the action, you've got the adventure. Like, it is set up perfectly. And what I like about it too is it's one of those classics. And if you've been following the podcast and listening to some of the older stuff that we've talked about with anime, it's a 26 episode season, which he and I
Mwah.
100%
Perfect.
agree that is the perfect season length. Now in Japan, technically it's 2 seasons, 13 episode seasons,
yeah.
but 26 episodes, perfect length to tell a story. And when you break it down and you cut out the intros, the outros, and some of the other stuff, you're looking at 18 minutes an episode. That could translate, cut off a couple
You're
filler
at about
things.
8 hours there. That's a trilogy.
That's a trilogy. Perfect. Give me a trilogy.
Yeah.
And Trigun would very much so make a good one.
Where Cowboy Bebop kind of fucked up and where Trigun wouldn't fall prey to the same sort of nature as Cowboy Bebop, they very much lived in space and around space.
Yes.
And the show you didn't see much of space at all in the show.
Correct.
Trigun
it's the opposite. There's very little space.
It's the future, but shit has gone chaotically wrong, and the human race is sort of starting
sci-fi
anew.
Wild West.
So it feels like it's
Mad
back
Max
in time.
style
It feels like
almost.
it's old fashioned. Yes, exactly. And yes, we're in space where we have spaceships and a lot of it, but they are not at all the characters of this show. The people are the characters of this show. And you could do some great stuff with Wolford and all the agency ladies. It could be great.
100%. And honestly, I'd love to just see Vash portrayed on the big screen. He is such a fantastic character across the board.
Yeah, do I think they could do his suit and glasses? No, I don't think they could do it exactly the same.
Not exactly, but his outfit's not super difficult to recreate.
No, it's
most
not.
of his outfit is just a giant red coat.
It's not, but I don't think the trench coat style looks good in movies. Personally, I wouldn't.
No, they would have to translate it a little bit, not have it be as long, maybe, but they could get the pseudo turtleneck thing going on, and the hairstyle wouldn't be bad.
Those sunglasses would be amazing on screen.
Yes, they would.
So we're to my number 3 now?
Number 3. We're already there. We're moving quick.
You're gonna
today.
like this one because my number 3 is Lupin the Third.
Oh, nice!
I think this would
so close to being on my list.
It would just be such an entertaining. Yeah, it would be like James Bond, but for white trash people. Like, it would be such an entertaining
that is
series.
Fantastic,
and you could just keep replacing Lupin, the actor that plays Lupin, every 3 or so movies.
Oh yeah,
with a new Lupin, and just do it a la James Bond style, but with him and his shenanigans and all the fun. Like, it would be so much fun. The show action would be sprinkled in nicely, but it would be
The
fucking
thing is, Lupin the Third doesn't take itself seriously at all.
Exactly.
It's not intended to. This is, honestly, it would be an in-between of James Bond and Austin Powers.
Right.
It would be that nice in-between where you get that, silly comedy, but you have a little bit more seriousness to it with some of the stuff that happens, where it's not just straight spy who shagged me, and it's also not just Bond, James Bond.
Yeah, and I think this would be like, this is a no-brainer. This is the easiest thing to translate. You can't fuck this up. You get a good cast of humor writers.
It's a spy mystery like perfect.
What are you doing wrong here? You can't. So I think that'd be a perfect thing to start going and just keep alive for as long as possible.
I agree. That would make a really fun one. Well, my number 3. So I said at the beginning, what would make a good film, and would it be able to be made into a good film? And I kind of stepped away a little bit, and I'm basing this off of a movie that came out. I can't even think of when it came out. I'm at a computer. I could look it up, but I'm lazy.
Give me some clues. Give me some clues.
We had an actual really good Pokemon movie come out with Detective Pikachu. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Yes.
And would I like to see more in that universe, in the live action with the animation they did? Yes. But the reason I picked my number 3 is because it's similar. And I feel like they could do it justice based off of what we saw there.
Digimon? Is it Digimon?
It's Digimon Adventure.
Yeah.
I'd
be cool with that. Because honestly,
give me Digimon live action. I think it would work.
I'd like that.
I truly think it would work, especially if they did it in the style, in the sense that we had Pokemon with Detective Pikachu.
Honestly, the creatures I think, lend themselves even more to that format for Digimon.
Yes, because they have a little bit more realism to them.
And Pokemon are, exactly. They have the realism to them. So when you
they're dinosaurs, they're birds, they're not like that cutesy.
When you make them look ultra real, it's not going to be like, whoa, I did not expect that to be what it looked like.
Like, Mr. Mime is weird. No, you make Agumon, you turn him into a more realistic style dinosaur. Perfect.
I mean, yeah.
He's a dinosaur dragon thing. Amazing.
He's a little big-headed T-Rex.
Yeah. Especially when you get up into the Greymon and the War Greymon, that would translate really well to realism. I truly believe that.
The Devilmons would be, fairly easy. There are a lot of people.
They would be terrifying in live action CG.
Yeah.
Like, they would be truly scary. And I feel like that's what this would need. It would have that lightheartedness, but the villains and stuff would feel so much more terrifying.
Right. So your argument, I think, has swayed me on that. I think we do need that in our lives.
Yep.
I think you pulled me. I was kind of unsure, but you won me over with that.
I enjoyed Detective Pikachu. I feel like they could do the same thing with Digimon and get away with it. Yeah,
and I feel like it could be better. I really do.
I do too.
So number 2 for me is going to get intense because I chose Gunslinger Girl.
Ooh.
Now, they already proven they could do it with Akira or Battle Angel.
Yeah. What was the name of that one?
Alita.
Was that it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did you look it up?
I'm like 90%. No, I've not looked it up.
We can leave this in there and people could just correct us.
Yeah, no, it's Alita, Battle Angel. So they've proven they can make badass young girls, and so Gunslinger Girl. This is another one. You got agency turning little girls into weapons, and they're just kicking ass. And this one is not, this isn't as action heavy maybe as Trigun. And it's not as story driven maybe as Eden of the East either. It's kind of splits the middle because you're gonna have these brilliance like mapped out. Think like Ultimatum 13 sort of gunfighting sequences, but then you're also going to have some really heartfelt, touching story plotline scenes.
Absolutely.
I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's another one that's kind of hard to fuck up.
I could see some of the action sequences if they don't get the animation or the CG that would be required, if they don't have a high enough budget for it. Honestly, a la Full Metal Alchemist, the live action that they did with that, the Japanese one.
Yeah, but
so much potential, but they didn't have the budget for it to really make it look as good as it needed to. So as long as they can get that, perfect. I'm on board. Give me some crazy badass little girls with guns.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
That's what it boils down to.
It's not so long that you couldn't fit it all in one movie. You could do a 2-hour, 20-minute movie and fit the whole thing in it
completely.
So there's a lot of fat you can trim on that series for a live action adaptation.
Completely agree. Well, my number 2, I'm taking it back to the feel of my number 5. I'm going back to the slice of life. I'm going back to drama, and I'm picking one of the saddest fucking anime I have ever watched. It almost fits that 26 episodes at 23. Your Lie in April.
I know.
I
knew that would be on your list.
In April would be a fantastic film. The 23 episodes could easily be broken down. There was a lot of overlap with the storytelling. They could easily condense this down into a 2.5 hour movie and make me cry again. Do it again. I've already cried twice. I've watched it twice and I've cried twice. Let's do it again. Who would
you want to see starring? Throw out a few names you would want to see starring in this.
Oh, man. I don't even know. I didn't think that far ahead.
Oh.
That, and I don't really know a lot of the main, like the big actors who would fit really well, especially they're high schoolers. So we would have to make sure we get younger actors and stuff with this. Don't pull what movie did I watch recently? Dear Evan Hansen. It was taken from Broadway, made into a movie, and they had the guy who played the main character come back for the movie from Broadway, which is perfect, except he's like 35 and everybody else was like high school age.
Awkward.
Yeah. So they got to make sure they have the characters fit the age. They look young enough. They fit well enough. But this would be a beautiful tribute to the show.
I'm really curious now because you asked me about could we pick shows that were already adapted. I did,
and
you haven't named one yet that's already been adapted.
It's true. So I'm gonna spoil it for you now. I edged it off the list based on other things that I was looking at. Full Metal Alchemist was the one that I knew going to be on my list because,
and as you know, be on mine
I love it. I absolutely love it. But then I thought about it. Could they really do it justice? And I don't think they could in live action form. Not unless they had the highest CG budget. If they had Marvel Cinematic Universe budget, yes, they could do it.
I'm not
but
even
sure. They would have to have that level of budget.
The problem's not with some of the action CGI. It's with the creating something out of nowhere is hard to make look believable.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm just thinking we'll end up with like a Sands of Time fiasco when they try this. Just huge budget, huge flop.
There were a few on here, and we'll kind of go over because we're ahead of time here. We'll go over some of our runner-ups and ones that we'd love to see, but I don't think they would work.
Ones, yeah.
So, but we're on to your number one, I believe.
Oh no. And that is the perfect anime to turn into a live action show. And that is S. Cryed.
Oh, I love that was on your list. I love that it was on yours because it was narrowly edged off of mine.
And let me explain to you why, though. Let me explain to you why. This is another 26 episodes. You think it'll average out about 8 hours of playtime. You'd lop off some of the repeated stuff, maybe about 7.5 hours.
Carryover, like repeating, telling you what happened in the previous episode. Sure.
And why do I think this movie will work? It's because of the Batman 3-hour movie that was largely there's a lot of action sequence in it that really helped progress the story. S. Cryed is a anime whose storyline is mainly driven by action sequences.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And honestly, they could cut out half of the fights and it would still be incredible.
And you could cut out most of the just plot line and you could still tell the story through the action. So that gives you a ton of flexibility. Now think Avengers. They are pretty much superheroes is what you got here with S. Cryed. You could easily do an Avengers style. Why is Avengers so successful? Not because they have a lot of heartfelt moments, but because there's a ton of fucking action. That's
and
what you're getting with
they
S.
do
Cryed.
well with it. And S. Cryed,
you could tell. You could tell the whole storyline in a 3-hour movie.
The only reason I narrowed that off of my list is because I'm a little scared with the CG, the, you know, forming these things on their bodies and the robots and making them grow. Like it scares me a little bit. And do I think they could do it justice?
I think you could cut a lot of that out and still have a great movie.
Okay.
Because some of the more flagrant,
maybe not show it instead, just have it kind of okay.
And then like some of the ones like the octopus dude, like you don't need him in it. He's not driving the plot line.
No, he's not.
You need two characters. Kazakun with his fucking
with his bullet fists,
and then what's his name with the weird dude that he creates?
What's his name?
Purple.
We interviewed him.
I know we interviewed him. I know I'm terrible. I just finished the series again for like the 10th time 2 days ago, and I've already forgotten it. I didn't even say Kazuma. I said Kazakun because that was the first thing that popped in my head was his nickname.
That's what he's called the most in there, especially by the, you know, his kid
what's
sister.
Her name?
Yeah, his kid sister. What's her name? Mimuri. No, it's not Mimuri.
No, that's the girl that's in love with the dude that makes the guy
in love with Ryohu. So there you go, Ryoho.
There you go.
I got you. Jason Spizak.
You got me.
Look, and you know what? This is another one. I'd be totally down for having Jason Spizak and Steve Bloom play the characters. I don't even give a shit. Let's do it.
They're a little too old now.
That's fair. Look, they can de-age them.
Yeah, that went over so well with Star Wars.
Oh, I mean, nobody cared at all. Nobody noticed.
Look, I didn't mind, but I'm just saying everybody else seemed offended.
Yeah, like I didn't care, but was it great? Did it look great? No, but did I care? Also, no.
So then what did you think was constituted number one if it was not Ask Cryed, the true number one?
It's another 26. Because look, man, these were the shows that I feel like would have made the best movies. And this one is another one that I truly don't think they would need pretty much any CG. And that's part of why it ended up being my number one.
Wait, Prince of Tennis has way more than 26 episodes. What are you talking about?
Look, if I want to watch Prince of Tennis, I'm just going to watch like a K-drama in between Wimbledon. I'm just going to like, okay, this guy is this character and, you know, I'm good. No.
Yeah.
Samurai Champloo.
Oh, cool.
Samurai Champloo would translate perfectly. We've had amazing,
that would be fantastic, but I would want it
samurai movies.
It would have to be done by a Japanese film crew that
I agree.
Already does kung fu movies. Think about Hero.
Honestly, get the guys who did Rurouni Kenshin. Because we've talked about this. Rurouni Kenshin had some great live action stuff. Get the guys who did that and stylize it a little more. And you've got Samurai Champloo.
Get the crew that does like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Get the crew
that was actually part of my thought process.
Get the crew that did, you know, all these Jet Li movies that
100%.
were just phenomenal back in the day. That's the crew you want to get there.
Honestly, one of the movies that came to mind when I was looking through this, and I was like, you know what? I think this one would translate the best out of everything that I've looked at because of movies like Crouching Tiger. They did so well with that, and it was received so well. And with the advancements that we've had since that movie came out, I think they would do even better with this. They've got the characters. Your main three characters are great characters. They would be great in a movie. They don't need a lot of the flashy flamboyancy that you had in between episodes. And it's one of those, you mentioned it a few times, you could cut out a lot of stuff and drive the movie through the action. A lot of what drives the plot in this is the action. That's half of the reason that's going on. And you're watching it and progressing the story is the fights.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen I know I'm saying it a lot, but the Jet Li movie Fearless, that was a fantastic action movie.
Absolutely.
And that's That's a good
I think
choice,
this
man.
one would be great. And no, this
sure.
time I don't think Steve Bloom would do really well as and
So
him and Mugen are a little different looking.
right. So some anime that are still rumored to be getting live action updates. Obviously, this guy right here.
Well,
Yu
and that's not
Hakusho
just rumored. They did have an announcement earlier
is
that they're
getting-
going to announce the cast
That's going to
very
be
soon.
Netflix, right?
I believe so. And look, man, Netflix is hit and miss. What they did with the
They're
setting
mainly miss.
But what they did with the setting in Cowboy Bebop was great.
I like that.
The show looked amazing. They got to get better writing. The One Piece and the Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm much more cautious than optimistic. But will I watch it? Yeah, just like I did with Cowboy Bebop. I'm going to watch it.
Will I potentially cry afterwards for all the wrong reasons? Probably yes.
Yeah, because it's like, what did you do to my boy?
So Netflix is also doing Sword Art Online.
Are they? See, I didn't see anything on that. Man,
but you know what?
I think Sword Art would be okay. I think they could do all right with that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I've been watching The Rising of the Shield Hero, which is kind of also based in a video game sort of reality.
Isekai. It's an alternate world, not really
yeah,
video
it's an alternate
game.
world, but they relate it to video games all the time. I like that show because they do not beat the dead horse when it comes to the video game thing.
No.
I think Sword Art Online just fucking rams the fact that it is a video game.
I mean, it takes place inside of a video
your fucking
game.
throat.
Whereas
I know, but
Shield
still,
Hero isn't actually in a video game.
But they throw it in your face as if they're helping the plot align, and it's really not. The plot is not that these people are in the video game. The plot is what is happening in the video game, but you can't stop slamming in the face. Look, it's a video game.
It's true. It is true. I agree with you on that. So
love the show, though. I do love the anime.
Yeah, the anime is fun. So a few that I looked at and I thought about it, and I couldn't put them on my list because, again, I don't think that they would be able to do it justice. Dr. Stone. I absolutely love Dr. Stone. I like the anime.
Great movie.
I like the manga. I don't think it would translate well to live action.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer is another one. One that, honestly, it hurts me to say it, but My Hero. I do not think they would ever be able to do it justice.
I disagree with you on that one because they can kind of do that a lot. Well, if they ever end My Hero, because we're still
I think we're getting close in the
manga.
manga.
They're still freshmen. They're still in year one in the anime.
I think they're pushing through on the manga because
this is supposed to be
way ahead of the anime right now.
So I think they could do that one really well, a la like Harry Potter. One movie a year.
Okay. So if they did,
and then kind of throw in a
one movie per season
superhero. Yeah.
So that's the one thing. That's why I couldn't put it on my list, is because it would truly need blockbuster budget.
It would
have to have Avengers budget.
That, and you'll end up cutting out a lot of plot.
You'll
never make anybody happy making this.
And I feel like the characters themselves, like All Might, he would be so hard to pull off properly in live action. I truly believe him transforming from super muscular down to his, wimpy form. It would be really
they're just gonna have
difficult.
The Rock. Then his wimpy form will be Kevin Hart. That's what they'll do.
Oh man, it's funny and sad because it's true.
One I would love to see, but I'm afraid to see also is Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer would be
is so beautiful, but I feel like even if you hired the fan, they would be so obsessed with the beautiful animated style that they would try to emulate that style in the movie and end up inadvertently ruining
and they're
the movie.
not going to be able to. They would not be able to translate that.
No, but they would try, and I think it would be so dangerous making that one. I also had Full Metal. Black Lagoon, I thought would make a great show.
Okay. I can see
or
that.
movie.
You know, one that I think could actually make it just because it doesn't take itself seriously at all, but I couldn't put it on my list because honestly, is One Punch Man. I think they could get away with just an over-the-top, ridiculous live action.
I'm still waiting on the adaptation of Akira that we were teased with over and over again. Because that one would be fun. And I just had one that I forgot because we started talking about My Hero Academia.
See, there, like Inuyasha, I was looking at that one too. And it's one that I just don't think they could do it justice. With everything that would be needed to make it stylized as well as the anime, they couldn't do it unless they had a ridiculously large budget.
Right. No, I agree.
So,
and even with that, how do you... Some of the stuff that, like the poofing stuff in Out of Thin Air is just something...
You can't do it live action well.
No equivalence to it in the real world.
Nope. So, but guys, if you have an anime that you would love to see as a live action, if they could do it properly, that's the whole thing. They would have to do this properly.
Don't fucking say Dragon Ball.
No.
Or Dragon Ball Z.
Because that's another that I don't think they could do it right. And don't fucking say
Yu-Gi-Oh! Nobody wants to watch grown men play cards.
Look, man, I watch Magic the Gathering tournaments.
So do I, but nobody wants to go and see that.
Nobody wants to pay to see that. That's where we're at. But if you've got an anime,
to admit that they watch it, nobody's out here saying, "Oh, I love watching people open Pokemon packs," but I do like watching people open Pokemon packs.
It's true. It's true. But if you've got one that you want to see, let us know. Reach out to us: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all at 2dap2020, and then of course Gmail at 2dap2020@gmail.com. And
next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
Next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
Next time
we will talk about a topic
that we will discuss beforehand.
That
possibly 3 hours before we record.
Possibly, it's happened.
It's happened multiple times.
So that's it. You know what? They need to, because I've been thinking about. I got my new Zoids figure up here completed. They need to just let Michael Bay make a Zoids movie. Like, why not? It's Transformers anyways.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's give him a call.
Or Gundam. Michael Bay, give him the keys to Gundam. Give him the keys to Zoids. And then you'll just have Zoids, Gundam, and Transformers, and they'll all look the same.
They would.
You won't even know which one you're watching.
Which is fine. That's fine. Let's give him a call. Yeah. We'll give him a call and we'll make this happen. But we won't be able to do that until next time. Guys, thanks so much for listening.
Love you guys.